Well, guys, it didn't take long, but it seems the Reform top brass might be regretting this Rupert Lowe smear job they created, as Isabel Oakeshott, the girlfriend or wife of Richard Tice, is now coming out calling for it all to stop. That did make me laugh, considering Isabel Oakeshott was happy to join in just a week ago. But what I don't find funny is Tosposh trying to control the narratives on deportations following this, which Majid now, as the former Islamist extremist turned LBC presenter, decided to tell his followers that Rupert Lowe's wish to deport all illegal immigrants is not just impossible, but essentially makes you Hitler or Mussolini.
What a wanker.
Yeah, it seems you can take the man out of LBC, but you can't take the woke LBC-style reaction out of the man, as I'm sure most would expect James O'Brien to call everyone a Nazi, though he is actually trying out the Austrian painter look himself if a recent clip of him is anything to go by. But here I want you to listen to Majid doing his best to control the narrative on mass deportations of illegal immigrants, using some of the most disingenuous and laughable bollocks you're going to hear today.
Farage, correctly so, and we agree with him, stands for a moratorium on all migration, legal or illegal. But Rupert Lowe wants to do something politically impossible. Rupert Lowe says, yes, I want to deport huge numbers of illegal migrants. I make no apologies for that. But he's talking about rounding people up who are already here from across the country, hundreds of thousands of them by his own admission, hundreds of thousands of them. And Rupert Lowe says that he wants to deport every single one of them. Now, the problem there is, as we've tried to make clear in our response to Rupert Lowe's post, you will not commence mass internment and concentration camps for hundreds of thousands of human beings. You shall not pass. We are not joking.
Well, first off, Tosspot, who is we? Unless he must mean him and his old jihadi mates, because last I checked, the majority of the country fully supports deporting illegal immigrants. But his claim that it's politically impossible to round up and deport every illegal migrant is pure bollocks, because it could easily be done. And it'd be nothing like the concentration camps he's thinking of, as they were mostly slave labour camps, not deportation holding centres to disingenuous fuckpig. Shit, the people in 1940s camps wish they got deported out of Nazi jurisdictions like the illegals would be out of Britain, you prat. Actually, I guess he also doesn't know, or is ignoring the fact that Britain had its own internment camps in the 1940s, so could have them again without being fascist, couldn't they? But he ain't even finished there though, as next he continues to bullshit his followers into believing it can't be done as it will make you a Nazi. Yeah, shocking, ain't it?
Now, why is it a necessary corollary that by saying you want to round up everybody undocumented in the country who is here already in totality and then just remove them from the country, why is it necessary that that policy view means that you believe in internment and concentration camps? Well, unfortunately, there is absolutely no way to mass deport hundreds of thousands of human beings who are already inside the country without interning them first. Once you arrest them, you have to put them somewhere while they're waiting for the paperwork and for their deportation flights and any potential appeal procedures, because of course you have to make sure you've arrested who are genuinely here without documents.
Well, just claiming that supporting deportation for all illegals is support for concentration camps is not only laughable, it's an age-old tactic used by the so-called left to shut down criticism of anything they don't like, and to me shows desperation to control the narrative on this. Of course, he is full of shit mostly because he assumes the government doing this in future wouldn't change the laws to prevent any appeals or delays being a thing, while also deliberately ignoring the fact that these people could be rounded up and sent out of the country on military planes and navy ships the very same day, with no legal ways to stop it if the laws were changed. The government makes the laws and can change them, including its adherence to international laws like the ECHR and other bollocks. The old pandemic proved that beyond all doubt, as Majid well knows. Many governments force people to stay in their homes despite it being a direct violation of their human rights, and the ECHR didn't do a fucking thing, did they?
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes. Shopping for basic necessities as infrequently as possible. One form of exercise a day. Any medical need, and travelling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. That's all. These are the only reasons you should leave your home. You should not be meeting friends. If your friends ask you to meet, you should say no. You should not be meeting family members who do not live in your home. You should not be going shopping except for essentials like food and medicine. If you don't follow the rules, the police will have the powers to enforce them, including through fines and dispersing gatherings. To ensure compliance with the government's instruction to stay at home, we will immediately close all shops selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores, and other premises, including libraries, playgrounds and outdoor gyms and places of worship. We'll stop all gatherings of more than 2 people in public, excluding people you live with. And we'll stop all social events, including weddings, baptisms and other ceremonies, but excluding funerals.
So yeah, Majid's either gatekeeping his life away here or is playing dumb for his followers by basing everything he says on the assumption that the current legal status quo would remain. I'll let you decide which one you think it is. Now though, let's carry on because like a bad case of the shits, he's got more crap to spew.
So that means holding them somewhere. The minute you round up hundreds of thousands of people and hold them somewhere, that's called internment. The minute you hold them somewhere for extended periods of time, they're camps. There's no way around that.
Well, fuck me, that has to be the most disingenuous 15-odd seconds of bullshit I've heard in a while, and trust me, I hear a lot of bullshit these days. Because while rounding up hundreds of thousands of people for no reason would be political lunacy, that's not what we're talking about here, is it? No, instead we're talking about rounding up hundreds of thousands of criminals, locking them up and then deporting them, because last I checked, entering a country illegally or overstaying your visa is a fucking crime. In fact, Majid towards the end of that little video there has been very careful to make sure he doesn't accidentally shit on his own argument by calling them illegal immigrants.
Because of course you have to make sure you've arrested who are genuinely here without documents.
As them being criminals and getting locked up is exactly what every country does to criminals. You know, it's called prison or jail, depending on which country you're in. Here we called it prison and the public mostly supports locking up criminals and deporting foreign ones, you total fucking idiot. But the fact he tried to ignore that these are criminals we're talking about so he could call them camps to me stinks of not only gatekeeping like the best of them, but also that he might think his viewers are too dumb to realise he's trying to equate current day criminals breaking multiple laws in many countries being rounded up with the Nazi concentration camp victims, which is fucking wild if you ask me, but also completely ridiculous. I mean, under the mental gymnastics he's using here, everyone locked up in prison is currently suffering in a concentration camp he claimed he would stop earlier. Because prisons have many thousands of people rounded up by the state and kept for long periods of time, don't they? Majid, I'm sure, knows this, which is why I think this is pure gatekeeping at its most desperate, because the bullshit he's spewing here is so laughable only an idiot wouldn't actually see through it. Which I guess, unfortunately for us, idiots are extremely common these days. Now, he then goes on to claim that mass deportations means kids get born in concentration camps, but I've already shat on that idea since the government doing this would change the law so they wouldn't be here long enough for it to be our problem or even happen. Either way, everything he said here is pure bollocks in my opinion, in case you hadn't noticed that. But let me know what yous lot think down in the comments section below.
Planet Gaming.